Hello guys, and welcome to another episode of the Introduction to That. In this video we are going to talk about while loops. So we've entered a new section called loops. So for the loops you look at the for loop and the while loop. Okay, so what exactly is a while loop? So a while loop is a block of code that would execute so long as a condition remains true. So while loop executes so long as a condition remains true. Okay, so we have the while statement, and a condition will come. So after the condition, and code goes here. So these lines of code would run so long as this condition returns true, and it will run as many times as possible until this condition. Okay, so it's going to run as many times as possible. It's going to run until this condition finally returns false. So let's look at a typical while loop. So to use the while loop, I'll first need something to keep track of the number of times the loop is executing. So I'm going to say an int and call it index something. Let me just call it I. Okay, so this I is going to keep track of everything, every loop we execute. So then I'll say while, and I'll give you a condition. So this is where my condition comes, which is going to return a boolean, either true or false. So while I is greater than, let me use less than, say 5, because we want to execute this lines of code for a specific number of times. So then I'll say print, and I'll say this is loop while loop, and I'll add I. Then I will increase I by saying I equals I plus 1, but this is really a long line of code, and you can reduce it by saying I plus equals 1, or you can say I plus plus. Both lines work, so you can do I plus equals 1, or you can do I equals I plus 1. They all work. Okay, so when I run this program, so I get this is loop 0, loop 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's looped 5 times. The reason why it's starting from 0 is because we started this from 0, and then obviously the indexing in that program starts from 0. Okay, so it loops for the first time. I is equal to 0, so it's I less than 5, which is true. Then it executes this line. Then increase I, so I is now 1. So it then runs this line of code again. It's I1, which is 1 less than 5, which is true. Then it will run and give this out and increase it to 2. Then execute to get this and increase it to 3 and execute to get this and increase this to 4, then execute to get this and increase it to 5. Alright, so it's 5 less than 5, which is obviously not true. 5 is not less than 5. So it ends there. Okay. But then it loops 5 times. So to see if this is actually looping 5 times, you can say +1. So if you are doing this, that's where you need the curly braces. So I plus 1. So when we execute this program again, it's going to say this is while loop 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, because that is what we specified it to do. So you can put any condition at all, but then be sure to increment your variable, because if you don't, then you get stuck in what is called a recursion loop. So be sure to increment your counter or I, or else you get stuck in the loop. So if I were to do this and run this program, it's going to continue printing 1. It's going to print for as long as it remains true, which is going to be an infinite loop. So you can just use Ctrl C. So if you do this, then you get stuck in what is called an infinite loop. It's going to run because no condition is checked, and it's not going to return false ever because I remains 0, which is less than 5. Okay. So you can chain commands in here just like you did with the if loops. Okay, so basically that is the whole while loop thing, but you can make decisions in the while loop as well. So you can say if in the while loop, you can say if I is equal to say 3, and that's the only time we want to print this. The rest, let them all be nothing. So if we run this code again, we only get, this is loop 4 because we added 1 to it, so it's the 3rd loop, and then we've added 1 to it to get the 4th line. So if I remove this and run the code again, I get this is looped. This is while loop 3. Okay, so it will only execute this line of code if the condition in the if statement is true. Okay, so that is basically a while loop. I'll leave all the code we've been writing since the beginning of the course is going to be available on my GitHub. I will leave a link in the description below. Be sure to check it out if you get stuck somewhere. Alright, I'll see you in another video, but don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support this channel. Thank you.